Go in there if you want to talk.
Let's go. Sure.
All right?
Thank you.
But, all right, I will talk to you on the condition you turn that off.
That can't happen.
And then we'll talk with it on. But first, we talk with it off. That's my condition. That's not your condition. That's my condition. So are you willing to compromise?
I will turn it.
Are you willing to compromise?
I am willing to make a compromise.
Are you willing to meet me halfway?
I am, yes, sir.
All right, we'll do it.
All right. And as soon as it starts going south, I'm turning it back on. There you go. Let's have a seat. Come on. Where would you like me to sit?
Both cameras are off, right?
Where would you like me to sit?
All the cameras are off. All the cameras are off. Let me see yours.
Where would you like me to sit?
Do you care if I record too?
Well, if I can't record, you can't record.
No, but I mean, when you record, I record.
Oh, sure. So let's turn them on now. Let's.
No.
No. Let's turn it on now, though.
Sit down and turn your phone off. Let me see the screen.
Look, it's not recording, and now it's off. So let's talk. You know, I've been a citizen here for 13 years, okay? I really try to keep my mouth shut, and I understand the government has their ways, okay? But what really got my attention is the violation of the rights of the people at the commissioners' meeting, okay? Many U.S. military people die every year, and they have for many of years, for our constitutional rights. Those rights were violated by your top commissioner. The same commissioners that are pushing this justice center that the own sheriff of Hamblen County has said is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I don't understand what the big push is for having such a large facility. The other places that company built, you're talking 180,000 people live there. They're on the beach. They've got residents, they've got tourists that come and visit them. They have a reason for needing a facility of that size. If Hamblen County's outlook is to need a facility of that size with the amount of people that live here, we have an issue. We have a big, big problem. And if you don't think so, how are we going to get the employees if we have that much of an issue? Nobody wants to come here if the crime rate for 70,000 residents is that big to need that many cells. We have to figure out what we truly need. Not waste money. People move here because taxes are low. I conversate to people. Most of the people I talk to aren't born and raised here. They move here because housing is cheap. Property taxes are reasonable in comparison to other places. That's going to all go up with this new Justice Center. It's not just going to be the Justice Center, but it's the upkeep. It's the employees. So it's an ever-going cost, okay? We really don't need that. We need to start smaller. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, or with additional growth, then maybe we jump up to that. But we have property, and we can easily house what we have to house. We don't have to build something that's 3 stories and the top floor be a shell. Because by the time you need that, you'll need a new roof. It'll need renovations. It may not even be up to criteria of what the government wants out of a facility. That all has to be brought into consideration. I know it's not your money. It's the people's money. We don't want this. Just because you don't have 500 people piled up in that building for the commission meetings, it's because most of them, just like myself, thought that there was enough people there. And why should I go? But you know what? Since I've gone, I've had probably a dozen people Man, I've seen you. I saw you in the video. I appreciate what you do. I've now, just in that little bit, I have 4 other people that are all ready to grab cameras and join me in what I'm doing. And I haven't even conversated to nobody. These are people who came to me, who contacted me. I came here to speak to you one-on-one without everybody. Because if you want me to have a pizza party out here tomorrow, I'll order pizza for everybody. And we'll sit out here, max capacity of the building, and then at 5 o'clock, we'll all go sit in there. Actually, Thursday, not tomorrow. Sorry. I want to come man-to-man to you and find out why. What is the push on this? Why do you feel Hamblen County's crime rate is going to be that bad under you being mayor that we're going to need that type of facility? I don't want my kids to grow up in that. I don't. And if it's going to be like that, let me know. So when I'm done with all this, I can move the heck out of here, because there's nothing holding me here at all. Just like most of the other people. You don't have things that draw people to our area. There's fishing, but they can move to Dandridge. They can move to Knoxville, White Pine. They don't have to pick Hamblen County. Hamblen County doesn't have anything to draw people other than property taxes. And you know, it cost me the same $25 for a gallon of paint to paint my wall as it does somebody living in a $5 million house in another state. Doesn't make my house worth any more because I paid $25 for my gallon of paint, and so did they. I'm just putting $25 paint on a $100,000 house. They're putting it on $1 million house. Got to look at it from that aspect. I mean, we go and we try to ask our commissioners. They're the people to confront. They're the people that you set forward to answer questions of the public. And when we go there and we ask questions, they don't get answered. They get shoved along. And the very next thing is exactly everything we just talked about. Why Linda Noe didn't sue the hell out of Hamblen County when Commissioner Shipley violated all those people's rights is beyond me. If I was there, you'd have paperwork on your desk. Because if I have to be held accountable, so do you, and so does everybody else that is a public official or an employee of Hamblen County. Do you agree? The public's got to be held accountable, so does the government sector. I'm not here to video record these people sitting in here. Not at all. I have no inclination at all for them to be in front of my camera. And I told them, if you don't want to be when you were standing in here talking to that gentleman, if you don't want to be video recorded, please do not step in front of the camera. Okay? I'm not going to go and throw my camera in people's faces. That lady asked if she wanted to call and get somebody down here, whether or not it's the sheriff's department or somebody local in the building. It doesn't bother me. My constitutional rights give me this privilege to be here when these doors are open. And I can film anything that I want. I can do public records on anything that I want, including what you have sitting out there. Just because you write a letter that says that photographs or public is not allowed to look at those records, you don't have that power.
It's state law.
It's not state law.
It is state law.
I will verify that through the comptroller's office.
Right here, sir. Oop. Right here. Information and records that are directly related to the security of any government building shall be maintained as confidential.
Keep going.
You can read it.
It shall not be open to public inspection. Such information and records include, but are not limited to, information and records about alarm and security systems used at the government building, including codes, passwords, wiring diagrams, plans, and security procedures and protocols related to the security systems. Security plans, including security-related contingencies, planning and emergency response plans, assessments of security vulnerability, information and records that would identify those areas of structural or operational vulnerability that would permit unlawful distribution to or interference with the services provided by the government entity, surveillance recordings, whether recorded or audio or visual format or both. I am not asking you for any of those things. And if any of that is in that over there, it is your job to remove.
No, sir. Look here. Look here. Look here. Look here. Security plans.
That's not security plans.
It is security
plans. It's not.
It's the video system. You don't think that's security?
Get it out of there and get everything else that the public can view there. Eradicate everything that is not for the public to see. That's your job.
It's folded over and stapled so people won't open it.
And I didn't open it.
Okay.
It is there, but why do you have letters there stating that people aren't allowed to be there?
They're not allowed to see those sheets. Those sheets that are stapled together.
Okay, so you need to mark the sheets because somebody like myself.
They are marked.
But I come and I walk up as the public and I read the signs that are placed there and signed by you on the 14th, stating that they're not for public record. Review. They're all there to the wall. It doesn't say you're only allowed to look up to page this, or the ones with the red tabs are not viewable by the public. You've got to give the public some type of information. They've got to be able to see what you...
They can look at, you guys can look at all the plans except for those sheets. And that's why they're out there.
Okay.
And it's all, and the pages are folded over. There is the same note on top of each, on top of that section.
Okay, so can we change the wording on your letter to tell the public that it's those particular sections that aren't viewable? Because I want to send people in here. And a lot of people don't have a backbone. They may walk in here and look at that and be like, I don't want any trouble. And they may walk away.
Send them.
I will, but
I mean, we don't, there's nothing to hide. We don't
there's
have
not.
anything to hide.
There's not. So can you explain to me in your words why you feel as mayor that we need a jail of that magnitude for Hamblen County?
We had 2 studies done. We had 2 different studies on the very first thing we did back in 2004, either 13 or 14. We had a study done by Carter Gobelee on the first thing we need to know is how big do we need it? You know, how many beds do we need, and what would be adequate for over a 35-year period? And that's what they did, and they came back with 650. And then we had another study done. Then the National Institute of Corrections, NIC, came and they did a study. I don't know if they did they met 2 days with all the stakeholders. I'm not sure if they did a study on how many beds we need. And then Mosley, the very phase 1 of their contract, there's 3 phases, and we commissioned them for phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 was a study, and they came back with 600 plus.
Okay, is that study been made open to the public?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I could record request that.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Along with this second one?
Sure.
Okay.
They are on YouTube. They are on.
Yeah, but it's extremely hard to look at a video when you could have a document in front of you.
Well, I mean, you can print it. You can print it off the web.
Okay, so it's not on YouTube.
Well, it's on a YouTube channel, I think.
Okay, so
I know it's on the web.
Okay, so it's on Hamblen County's website.
No, it's on a YouTube channel, I think. Let's see. Go ahead. Whatever questions you got.
Well, I mean, I want to hear.
We did the 2 studies.
Okay.
We did our homework.
So, in your homework, that the studies that they have done, why do they feel with a population that we have and with the lack of growth that we will ever need that when they're building now up to date the same facilities in other areas that already have almost 3 times the amount of residents.
Now, one thing about Hamblen County, excuse me, is that we're an economic hub for an 8 to 10 county area. And there's people who commute in here every day to work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we're an economic hub, so we attract folks who break the law as well.
Yeah, but the people that are driving here to go to work aren't breaking the law to work, and then they're leaving.
I didn't say that. I said we attract people that
But-
break the law as well.
But
That's what I said.
but they're not visitors from out of town, other states that are coming for holiday weekends or events and doing things like that.
Say that again.
We don't have people visiting our area for events, coming in here for holidays like there are in other areas.
I think the lake straw.
But they don't come to Hamblen County.
Yeah, they do.
They go to other areas.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they probably did less this year because of COVID, but yeah, they do. And we have different events. We have like the disc golf tournament that attracts people from 20-something states, and we've got the mountains and other types of tournaments.
All right, so we have a dozen things that attract people. These other places that have these jails and justice centers, they're got people coming there 52 weekends out of the year. They're going to the beaches. They're going there for holidays. The crime rate's a lot higher.
Okay.
So we're just flipping a bill now that is going to be needed in 30 years. I don't want to pay that bill now.
Well, what I guess what I advise you to do, just to answer your questions, is to read the reports.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as
I'm looking. That's what I would advise you to do. There's your answers, are in the reports.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. What other questions you got?
So has the sheriff done any kind of a report on what he feels would be adequate for our area, or
Not that I'm aware of.
has
He
anybody?
hasn't presented one to the commission, no. But now his people had input into these other studies, and they use court records. So his folks had input into it. They've had input all along the whole way.
So why is he against it?
And that's a question for him. You need to ask him that.
And I tried before I came here, and he wasn't available.
Okay. Well, you need to ask him. What I can do, if you'll leave me your email address, I can send you these. I think I've got a digital copy.
Grounded in industrial expert.
No, what other questions you got?
Why does the attorney paid for by the people sit there in the commissioner's meeting and allow unlawful activities to proceed without.
Okay, hold on. All right, here's how you get to the reports. Okay, go to the county website. Okay, it's HamblenCountyTN.gov. Okay,
Can I record this little piece here because I won't remember none of this?
and then here's Justice Center right here on this tab.
Okay.
Right there. All right, let me get back to the home page. All right, here's the home page.
Do you mind if can I record this real quick so that I know how to get to it? I'm just gonna, and then as soon as we're done, I'll turn it off.
All right, I'm trusting you.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, this is the home page. HamblenCountyTN.gov. Right here's the
Okay.
web address. Okay. Right here, Justice Center.
Okay.
Okay. And here's all the reports. There's the staffing study that was done. Here's the very first report, Cardinal Gobelet, May of 14. Okay. And then here's the second report of 2017. And then here's the report from the National Institute of Corrections. So those are the three reports.
Okay.
Okay. So they're available in public right there.
Okay.
Okay.
And they're only available though per the video, or will I push on? Can you click on one of those links and show me? Now, will I need PowerPoint in order for that to open, or is it in different formats?
This is the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. That has all the data. That's what's used.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So, back to the attorney. Why does he allow the commissioners to knowingly violate people's rights and not stand up or pull somebody off to the side and say, hey, listen, what you're doing is a lawsuit? You can't do that. He's there. If he's not there, then I understand it's after the fact, but the guy is there to save Hamblen County, right? And if he's not doing his job and he's constantly there on the phone, tweeting or whatever, what is he doing there? Is he being paid to sit there an hour, 2 hours? Why? He's not doing a darn thing for the government. He's taking my money.
He's there for consultation.
But he's
Well,
never
not paying attention.
He's
So
not
they're
paying
spitting in our
attention.
face.
He's allowing the violations to go on. The only thing I've ever seen him do is look up when I caught his attention. Just like the rest of the commissioners.
Okay.
I mean, what do we do about that? How do we assess that?
Well, he's hired by the commission. So you talk to your commissioner about it. And then he's hired every September.
Okay. So he was just rehired then.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to take your whole day up. But I hope that we maybe can move forward a little bit on what we truly need. The citizens, we don't want that. It's all about the citizens. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at all these reports, and I will make those reports better off for people to be able to see and get a hold of so that they can see that. And if they want to come and voice their concerns or call their commissioners, then they can do that. But you have a lot of people that think that that room is full, and they have no idea that